Hi there, I'm Chris-Rachel Oslin with the Austin Post.
And I'm Gavin Stone with Fanboy TV, and we are here with the incredible crew behind Zero Charisma.
Which is finally we get to have a Geek and Gamer movie for the Geek and Gamer show.
For the Geek and Gamer show.
Yes.
So, really quick, tell us, what is Zero Charisma?
Zero Charisma is a comedy about a very obsessive role-playing gamer, tabletop role-playing gamer, who has a new player come into his game who's sort of like a neo-nerd cool gamer.
Yeah.
And it sort of triggers off a lot of insecurity in his mind, and he kind of goes in a downward spiral. It's a tragic comedy. And it's also about his family, too, and everything. And hopefully it'll be a really funny time, but also kind of emotional as well.
Don't tell them that part. It's a comedy for gamers. Come
Yes.
out and see it.
So, I really loved it because I've had some serious hardcore GMs before. And have you ever had a really hardcore GM? Because you played the GM in this movie, and it was like spot on.
No, I actually haven't played D&D that much. But
What?
no! Wait, but my
We
geek
don't know.
cred is I play board games, tabletop, everything but that. So.
See, I'm the same way
He's
these
trying to
days.
fix it. He's trying to fix
I
it
am.
there.
Have any of
can do
you
it.
had really crazy GMs?
Yeah,
Well,
I was
Andrew's the crazy GM.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
Andrew,
I-
honestly.
I wrote the script, and it's not, literally based on, anybody in particular, but
But Bob, by the way... Sorry, go on.
But I did have a dungeon master who was always a dungeon master, and I always wanted to be. And there was one time when he finally let me do it, and the whole time he was just kind of like grading my performance,
Like
instead
you're
of-
being tested?
Yeah, exactly.
Fail, they
yeah.
can't walk down
It's
the
like,
hallway.
are you sure that's right? I want to check the rules on that. So.
And what I enjoyed about it was, like I've said, I had one of those crazy GMs. Like, he tried to kill us if we had too much fun, because I don't play those games seriously. I'd always build a character like based in chaos, and he'd be like, I'd stab the person next to me just because he was there. I'm going to kill you, but he could never kill me.
Well, as a dungeon master myself, I will say that, and as soon as a player is like, I want to be chaotic neutral, you're like, great.
Yeah.
That's
You're
what I was.
just going to mess with the game the whole time, aren't you?
And that's
Pretty
why
much.
he plays board games now.
Yeah, that's why I play board games now. So, this movie, how long did it take to make?
Well, we shot it last April. It took a while to raise money, as all indie films do.
Yeah, you guys were funded on Kickstarter, right?
Yeah, it was Indiegogo.
Okay.
Yeah, we started on there, and then we raised some more money. And but we shot last April, and we finished editing this summer, and then finished final touches about a week ago.
So, you
No
would
pressure.
think with such a heavy, awesome geek movie, more people would have wanted to sponsor it, like comic book stores or even like Wizards of the Coast, because it's a realistic movie. It's not one of those fake ones like, what's the one on the tip of my tongue I'm thinking about? That's not, it's a, what is the documentary that follows the Dungeons & Dragons players around?
Just dungeon masters.
Dungeon Masters. It's not like that, which gives it a really bad light. It's like, this is how everybody is.
Right. Well, I mean, Wizards of the Coast is a rough one because they're such a massive
Yeah.
company. and
They're
they have
owned by Hasbro.
Yeah.
So.
they have
Oh,
a
well,
lot
that says
of-
it all right there.
So bye.
But there are a lot of smaller companies that gave us a lot of help in the form of letting us use like posters and artwork and board games. A lot of board game companies let us use their artwork and their products on screen, and also Reaper Miniatures, which
Those
is
are
based
awesome.
here in
Yes.
Texas. They gave us a lot of. They even painted them for us. I
Oh.
mean, beautiful miniatures that we
Yeah,
used in
they
the
were
movie.
very
So
supportive.
we didn't get a lot of like investment support. We got a lot of like products and
Yeah.
permission support.
Yeah.
Like community support. And I think that shows in this movie. It's like a community movie.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
also we shot a lot in Great Hall Games, which is here in Austin.
That's another
They
good
were
place to
super
go.
cool.
Oh,
And
they're
they're the
great.
ones who hooked us up with Reaper, and they let us shoot in their store, and it's a beautiful store,
Yeah.
and it worked out really well.
Yeah. Oh.
I know you have questions.
She
so
loves the
get 'em out.
So what made you decide that you were going to do a movie for gamers that actually seemed to be mostly played by actual gamers? Because most of the time when I see things like this, it's an excuse for people that are outside of the culture to come and poke a lot of fun and pretend that they're in it, but it's really kind of mean, and yours is not mean.
Oh, good. I'm glad to hear that. Yeah. I mean, you're making a comedy, so you want to be funny, so you have comedic characters,
Yeah.
but at the same time, the world of gaming is a very like comfortable one to me, and so. Even if you have scenes where there's funny or people are even getting angry at each other, I just like, the tabletop. It's a comfortable place, and they say write what you know. So,
Yeah. And it's kind of popular now. I mean, there was a community episode about D&D.
Yeah.
And then, Freaks and Geeks did one like 10 years ago that's very, very loved. So, it's kind of
Well, you were
popular.
saying that write what you know. I take it that means you actually are personally a lifelong gamer, or at least for a while?
since 5th grade, I guess in college there was a period when I didn't play, but I did.
Got out of the house, did social things,
Yeah.
got back to gaming later.
But Austin has a great gaming community, so
Yeah.
I play with a few different groups in Austin.
So with the rest of you, had you done any gaming before this, or you're like, no, I'm actually the pretty one, I just act?
I had, for sure, played it in a couple games that Andrew GM'd long ago.
Yeah, Thomas is our producer and also my cousin,
Yeah.
so
Okay.
I've known him since we were born.
Yeah.
So did he ever GM your game and try to kill you all the time?
No. We never got too deep into a campaign. We did start a game as part of research while Andrew was writing the script.
Like, it's part
It
of
was research for you.
Yeah.
It was fun for me.
But it was really fun. We only got to get halfway through the campaign, and then we started making the movie, and we haven't picked it up again yet. But
Yeah, we will.
I'm dying to pick it up again. We were just at the castle walls.
Yeah. It wasn't,
exciting.
it wasn't a castle. It was a
What was
fortress.
it? Oh, sorry.
Technicalities.
So what tabletops do you actually play? Are you like D&D 4th Ed, or what are you doing?
I like 3.5.
See, I hear that a lot. Everybody likes the older one. They don't like the newer version.
I have nothing against it. I play. There's a group of people that I play the 4th edition with, but in my opinion, it's a little too sort of close to the video game kind of rules, where you have this certain number of attacks you can do, like Final Fantasy or something like that. I like the sort of more free flowing. You do whatever you want in 3.5 kind of. Yeah.
So we were talking about board games during the break. What is your favorite tabletop board game?
Mine would be Scrabble, I think.
Really?
It's kind of,
No,
is that a
just
boring answer?
leave. The
whole
it's
thing
just
out
a
of there.
perfect
We should,
game.
like, kick
It's
you out of
competition.
there.
It's quick.
No.
I'm always reluctant to pick up a game of Monopoly because it's like a 3.5-hour game.
Well, that's also the most bloodthirsty game ever.
Yeah.
And those aren't really what I think of as board games
I
these
know,
days.
right?
Like I'm thinking
That's more
Euro
like a
games
cross-
when I'm
yeah.
asking people those questions.
See, I've just recently discovered Pandemic, and I think that game is incredibly fun.
And
Well,
I'm hooked on Seven Wonders.
Sam is the big board game guy
Yeah.
here. Yeah.
Arkham Horror.
Oh, that game is awesome.
Yeah.
We've never
Catan,
won it,
we
though.
just play. I play Catan all the time.
I played a
my
couple
God.
times.
I'm actually working on a Settlers of Catan cookbook.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
I'm telling you.
Sheep
She is
and
like our
wheat.
geek chef. She does
Yeah.
the most amazing things.
I wrote a Doctor Who cookbook.
And when she
too,
said she's
so.
writing a Catan cookbook, I was like, win.
And we've
May,
taken up
in
a
case you're
Game of
wondering.
Thrones board game. That's a
Yeah,
great
right.
one.
There's
Is
a
it
couple.
good?
Oh,
I
yeah.
haven't picked it up yet.
It's a long time, 4-hour commitment.
Yeah.
Sit there. Yeah.
Wow.
Cutthroat.
So what other geek cred do you guys feel like you have? Because I mean, it's such a geek intensive movie. You know, you're going to have people like, really, prove it. Come on.
You have a test or something? You can
I
me?
do. I've got a 17-question
Oh,
test over here that you'll be
jeez.
taking afterwards. No
Well,
multiple choice
We're
allowed.
comedy nerds.
Yeah, Katie and I are engaged too. We're co-directors, and we sort of we started dating like back in '99, sort of based on our
Yes.
shared love of Mr. Show. That was our.
So
we're
that's kind of our other geek cred.
yeah, as comedy
Yes,
comedy
comedy.
nerds.
So they
Comedy
don't actually
nerds.
read any science fiction. Don't.
Oh, I
read
like
the
science fiction. You know what? I don't have geek credit as comic books. I never got into comic
I'll
books.
forgive you for that.
Okay,
Personally.
that's cool.
I'll
You're
let
allowed.
you slide on that one because I've gotten out of that as well. I'm not going to lie.
It's the expense, honestly, with comics.
I mean, seriously, I didn't have my allowance was basically nothing, so
Yeah.
I had nothing to spend.
And if you try and get into it as an adult, even if you're just picking up the trade paperbacks, it's insane just the cost on it.
It's a little overwhelming, you know. Like, where do I start with these things?
Do you guys do any sort of cosplay or anything?
No, no. I
They're
don't.
like, no, we don't touch costumes. No. And so you two down there, what other geek cred do you guys have?
What do you think, Sam?
Well, I'm a living dungeon master.
He's snapping into character.
I don't know. I
play
love,
like Magic the Gathering.
I play
right?
Magic. I play all
It's
that
pretty
good
serious
stuff.
geek cred.
I'm more into fantasy, but I mean I love everything.
You actually look a little bit
Horror.
like George R. R. Martin. So.
I've gotten that. I
See?
want to go up
You
to
can
him. I want to
cosplay
go
him
up to him
so
and be
well.
like, Dad, or something.
You are not my son.
Father. He'd probably have a.
And last but not least,
I'm a big Star Trek fan.
I
I really enjoyed. There's a nice little bit in our movie about a Star Trek versus Star Wars debate.
We had an
It's one of my
episode about
favorite
that
scenes.
recently.
we did
So?
a Star Trek versus Star Wars debate, and it was a massacre because we had like 8 Star Trek dressers up and 4 Star Wars.
Not to
and
mention they
everything.
had me on the Trek side, so
And
of
she's
course
very
they won.
vocal. So
Yeah, we consulted Thomas about all the Star Trek stuff. I was a Star Wars. In a first year that Kate and I were dating, I convinced her to camp out for episode 1. We slept out front of the movie theater.
Wow.
I did the same
then-
thing,
Okay,
and I was like,
that
well,
restores his geek cred
Yeah.
right there.
Well,
I'm Star Wars too. I read all the Star Wars books.
so
Nice.
out of Star Wars books, what is your favorite one?
I like Tales of Mos Eisley, Cantina, like all the Tales of Bounty Hunters. I like the grime, the scum, villainy.
I really like Shadows of the Empire. That was the first one I read.
Shadows is
Really?
great.
Oh, I read that too. Yeah.
a
Only the
great
first
book.
one though.
Too
Yeah.
bad.
I like
So-
how they're all coming in like, oh, I've read that too.
Yeah, that's all good. Well, we're out of time. Thank you guys for showing up and making this awesome movie. That was a
and
great
geeks
deal
out
of fun.
there, go see this one. If you have to see, I shouldn't say if you bootleg it onto the internet. It'll be available probably
Find it on the internet because geeks are digital pirates.
It'll probably be. Where will it be screening other than at South by? Like, have you guys been picked up for national
We
distribution?
have nothing,
or?
Nothing to announce yet, but
I want you to get
the
that
works.
national distribution.
Yeah, very hopeful.
Yeah.
Hopefully, at least the Alamo will show it.
Yeah, I think that we'll
I
try
would
that for
Definitely
sure.
check
Kind
your
of
20-sided pins on the way out to make sure she doesn't take one.
Yes, we will.
So thanks for coming. Have a
Yeah.
great time at South by
you.
Southwest,
Thank
and
you.
keep up the good work.
Thank you. Thanks very
Thank
much.
you.
Cool.